I'm Norman Mullings. I was born on the 31st of January, 1941, in a parish called St. Elizabeth in Jamaica. And so that makes me 82 years old. I came by plane. I was nearly 20. I'm sure it was well over 9 hours, but seemed to me a lifetime. It was a long journey. But I remember coming here. I came to live with my uncle in Brixton, in Leander Road in Brixton. I lived there for about 6 months. After 6 months, I came to Kensal Rise. It is not far away from here, where I was able to find accommodation while I was working part-time and studying part-time, because my whole plan was to go back to the Caribbean after graduation and go back there into teaching or something like that. But the plans didn't work out. And because of the first thing I noticed was people were saying things to me that wasn't kind, and people spitting at me and that sort of thing. And I thought, that's not right. That was in 1959. And that it was on the tail end of the Teddy Boys in Notting Hill, where there was this group of white guys who feel we should not have been here in the first place. And so it was, I was able to find some of my friends who I knew from, not some of them I knew from Jamaica, and some I got introduced here. And it was then why I came from Brixton to live in Kensal Rise, and started to look at some of the things that people are saying to us. How do we combat it? How do we overcome it? It was not easy. And at the time, nobody seemed to care. We were invited to come here to rebuild Britain. My friends and I got an organization off the ground called the Willesden International Friendship, because we thought, let's come together as a body, and we call ourselves the Willesden International Friendship. That means we want to friends with everybody, especially black people, because we were at the receiving end. But what we did as well is that we organized, through the Brent Community Relations Council now, we organized to have what is called a voters registration campaign to get black people to register to vote, because that's the only way you change things. I never want to be a politician. And I'm not a politician. I'm somebody who lives in the community. And out of that campaign, people start to ask questions. This is the sort of thing that we're going to have to find a way. How do you address this? Why is it that black people are stopped 10 times more than white people? I believe, yes, we have seen some progress. It's very slow, but we can't stop. It's got to continue. Throughout my life, I have worked I worked for the railways. When I first came, my first job was at the railway. So I was at the railway for many years. But while I was at the railway, I was able to study, because one of the good things with the railway, they can give you time off. And so I did a lot of courses. And then I became involved with the Commission for Racial Equality. I worked with them for quite a long time. And then when I leave the Commission for Racial Equality, I started to work in the legal profession with a number of lawyers dealing with immigration cases and housing cases and employment matters, and in particular around the area of discrimination. So I've done a lifetime of work around that. But that's not all. When I finish the day job, in the evenings you have to take on the local authority. So I sat on a number of the governing bodies in Brent, because you can't stay outside and criticize it. You have to be in it to change it. I got a son and a daughter, and I got 3 grandsons. But you must never forget where your roots are. I am blessed that I have so many friends and families across the globe. And, I always say to my Jewish friends who send their children to Israel to see what's happening in the kibbutz, that's good, because they need to see that. Just as how I want my grandchildren and my children to see what Jamaica is. See some of the beautiful beaches, some of the, our music, our literature, our history. There's so much to see. You have to go there. I can't describe it until you get there. If you've never been to Jamaica, you must take a trip.